everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Praise. I hope that you're doing well. This will be the second video of chapter 10, I believe. Let me make sure I'm in the right one. Yes, chapter 10 about our attitude. So I'm going to read a couple of things that I highlighted, and then I'm going to share. Whoa, hold on. My dog just sat down. Let me see if I can. Sat down and about knocked the light over. All right, so I'm going to share a few things of what I highlighted, and then I'm going to share the 11 things to help you take care of every inch of yourself. So first of all, something that we need to understand is that each of us is worthy of being comfortable in our own skin. We are worthy of giving ourselves tender, loving care, and worthy of treating our body like the treasure that it is. So it's about taking that time to really know who you are and what you need. Get in tune with your body. What is affecting you? Stress-wise, even stuff outside of yourself, things that you're eating, things that you're doing, and, take stock of that. And journal. I just love journaling. I don't do enough of it, I think, in the way that I should. I do journaling, but I think there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing. So I want to start some type of maybe very specific things. Like I do the commonplace notebooks, and I do have a specific one for my medical stuff, like my appointments and the things that I need to talk to the doctors about. But I think I want to do a very specific one for this type of stuff, like very specific to my health, for the things I should eat, the things I shouldn't, and because there's a lot of things that I probably won't remember if I don't write them down. All right, so now this is the next thing that she shares. I am starting to realize that with every step and every breath I take, my life is a gift, and my body is a transportation for my life here on earth. The body is what also houses my soul. And it is worth everything I've got to give the best care to the only body I will ever have. And she's not talking about all these ways to make yourself look good through, makeovers and plastic surgeries and all of those things. What she's talking about, the basics, the things that we should all be doing, which is reducing stress, living a life of gratitude, eating well, and moving. I am worth more than nutritionally negative food, a sluggish, sedentary. Oh my goodness, I think I need to read that all over again. Reducing stress, living a life of gratitude, eating well, and moving. I am worth more than nutritionally negative food, a sluggish, sedentary, I did it again, life. One more time. She's talking about the basics. Reducing stress, living a life of gratitude, eating well, and moving. I am worth more than nutritionally negative food, a sluggish, sedentary life, and holding on to resentment, anger, and grudges that result in a cold, bitter heart. I am worthy of loving self-care, and so are you. So now she's shared 11 things that are going to help us to take care of our bodies. Everything's kind of falling that way because he's laying right behind all of this. Okay, so first thing, understanding that your life is a gift. The care you give your body is how you show thankfulness for that gift. Number 2, recognizing that you are a child of God. You are precious in His sight. Number 3, knowing that when you take care of yourself, there's room to take care of others. 4, taking care of yourself helps your inside match up with your outside. 5, moving increases endorphins, wonderful hormones that help you feel good, a natural high. Number 6, one of the joys in eating real food means no more brain cramps trying to figure out what disodium phosphate and other scary additives are and what they're doing to your body. Number 7, eating real food means you will no longer have to remove your children from the ceiling with a spatula. Your children are calmer. Just how much fruit is in fruity cereal anyway? And why are sports drinks a color antifreeze and toilet bowl cleanser? Or cleaner. 8. Moving with music will help you not only burn calories, but help you shake your groove thing and show you that you can still move with the best of them. Drinking water is going to give you pretty skin. 10. Not hitting the drive-thru will mean more money in your pocket. You can do something for yourself, something good and healing. Number 11. Recognize that you are worthy of tender self-care means you are flying. We have to remind ourselves that we are worthy of being loved, if only by ourselves. We are worthy of I'm really having another day of those, not being able to read. We are worthy of having a happy and healthy body. We deserve to live the best possible life for as long as we are allowed to. But the problem is our attitude. So we need to switch our attitude. We need to realize that having a bad attitude is just taking away good memories, good things from us. Because when we might be out doing things with our families, going on picnics, going on camping trips, going shopping, going out to have a nice dinner. But when we're stressed and overwhelmed with all the things going on and we aren't really making memories, I know, like for me, being stressed out all the time, there's a lot of things I don't remember. And people will talk about, oh, we did such and such a thing. And I remember bits and pieces of that. I remember being there, I think. But, it's like a lot of the stuff I just don't remember because of all the worry stuff that's stuck in my head. It's pushing out all the good stuff. And it's better if we focus on the positive. So what happens to us is that when we are not moving and we're not putting good food into our body, we are treating ourselves badly. And we don't like when somebody else treats us badly. So why do we want to do it to ourselves? And so another thing she shares, that's something that I think is really important, is to know your family history. If there is, people who have had heart issues in your family, people who have high blood pressure, people who have had cancers or any host of illnesses, mental, physical, whatever. Oh, there goes my light. Let's see. Okay. So we need to know that stuff and then base the way you treat yourself around that. So if you know that 5 people in your family have had heart attacks, what makes you think you might not be one of them, right? God willing, you're not. But because of genetic factors, you could fall into having heart issues, right? So why feed yourself things that can contribute to that, right? So if we're eating bad food, we're gaining weight. That contributes to heart disease. If you are eating really, really bad all the time and you know that your family is prone to diabetes, there you have it. You may be getting it. You may get this, you may get that, and you might get it anyway, even if you do the right things. There's some things that you get anyway, but you're more than likely not going to, or you'll be able to keep it from happening longer. You'll be able to make it less severe for yourself. There's all sorts of good things that come with making the right choices. So it's about the baby steps again. Baby steps to keep your health on the right path. So a lot, like for me, and I don't know about you guys watching, but it's been a long time coming, right? So all this body clutter didn't happen overnight. It happened over years and years and years. I'm 46, and this started probably in high school, where I noticed that I was gaining a little bit of weight, and it wasn't very much, but just enough to like, what is going on? Now, granted, that happened after the cyst that I had when I was 12. And so my assumption now, because of the symptoms that go along with a lot of the issues that I have been diagnosed with now make me believe that I probably had some of this going on then. I don't know for a fact, but I mean, all signs point to that's probably what was happening. But because I didn't know it, I didn't take care of myself. But even still, I should have been taking care of myself anyway. That's just something we should do, even if we don't know what we're may get or not get. So because of that, I can't expect all of this to go away like this. So I need to have baby steps, right? So the way we can bless our bodies is by releasing a little clutter at a time, right? So just a little bit of our mind clutter, a little bit of our body clutter, just a little bit of time, take baby steps. Because our rebellion against, especially that's here, our rebellion only hurts us. And it's kind of like when I say, like, and I do this, see something, I shouldn't eat this, but I'm going to anyway. Because for whatever reason, I think, well, it tastes really good and I really like it. But then for hours later, my stomach hurts or I get a headache or my sugars shoot up or whatever it is. And then I don't feel good for days. But because I don't care enough for myself, I'm going to do it anyway, right? Because, who cares? I want to do whatever I want. I don't want any rules. I don't want somebody to tell me what I can and cannot put in my body. And I want to be able to do whatever I want. But really the only one making that choice is me, right? What I'm putting in my body. No one else can really tell me anything. They can suggest, hey, you have this going on. These are the things that we could happen, but give you flare-ups or make you sicker. Do I want to be sicker? Well, no, I don't. But then why am I making the bad choices? So it's that whole negative mentality and that whole, if I can't do it right now and I want it done fast, then I'm just not going to do it at all. It's the perfectionist attitude. So I know that I'm worth taking care of and worth blessing my heart and body with movement and healthy nourishment. We all have to give ourselves permission to toss that old way of thinking out the door and take baby steps toward finally loving ourselves. So, it's just the more good choices we make for ourselves, the more we can learn how to love ourselves. Those are the little ways that we love ourselves. So, like if you know that certain situations make you feel overwhelmed, make you feel angry, make you whatever, set the boundaries. Say, no, I can't do this right now. Some food, if we're eating the wrong food, can make us feel like that because it makes us feel sick. So then we're irritable. Don't eat it. But do it for yourself. We're not doing this for somebody else. We're doing it for ourselves first and foremost. We're doing it so that we can live the lives that God has given us to live. He's given us a purpose, but we cannot fulfill our purpose if we're sick all the time. And even if we are going to deal with this illness for the rest of our lives, we could still make it a little easier on ourselves. And we will have more of the good days to go and live out that purpose than more bad days because we're making bad choices. So it's all about our perspective and how we look at it. So this last thing that she says here on this page is loving yourself is more than mere words. Love is a verb. There's this to remind me of a DC Talk song. It's an action word, and as we learned in 3rd grade, just saying the word does not make it so. We have to practice the action in order to feel the love that we have for ourselves. So we need to walk the walk and talk the talk. Because if we're just talking the talk and not walking the walk, we're lying, right? So we're being hypocrites. We're pretending that we're doing all these things when we're not. And that just sets you up for, it's even worse than failure, because now you can't even trust yourself. You're lying to yourself because it doesn't matter what other people think. You're telling yourself, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing whatever, when you're really not. And the only person that you hurt when you lie is yourself, because other people, yeah, they may not trust you again. They may not want to be around you. But in the end, it's you that you hurt, because then you're losing someone that you cared about, because you just couldn't be honest. You just couldn't live, say, hey, I'm having a problem doing this. Be my accountability partner or whatever. Because when you turn around, you're sitting here saying, I'm doing all these things. And then someone finds out that you're not. It's like a betrayal. And because they were believing in you, and maybe even kind of following your example, like they're doing the work over here and they're thinking you're doing the work. And it's just, don't lie about it. If you're having issues, say, look, I am not doing well on this, whatever baby steps that you're taking. I'm not doing well. I need help. Go to God first. Get your accountability partner. Get a few accountability partners. Get a group of prayer warriors around you. Do all the things that can keep you lifted up and being able to do this stuff. And loving ourselves is something we have to practice every day. This is a journey. And the journey is what matters, because that's where we make all the memories. That's where we make all our choices. That's where we make all the decisions. And that's how we live our lives, in the journey. So when we skip getting our movement, when we skip eating our good food, even if it's just skipping eating period because we'd rather just drink coffee and we're too busy, or if it's that we do have something good to eat, but we also have a pizza in the freezer and that tastes better, or whatever. When we do all that kind of stuff, all we're doing is hurting ourselves. We're not being ourselves. We're just, it's like we're punishing ourselves instead for what, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's something we need to look inward for. What is it that we think we're doing wrong, that we think we have to punish ourselves for? And loving yourself, are you loving yourself when you push yourself till you are exhausted without taking any breaks? You can learn to pace yourself and not set yourself up for crash and burn. Are you loving yourself when you go all day without fueling your body? Why not take the time to bless your body with a good nutrition food instead of skipping meals and causing your body to go into starvation mode? Dude, I do this all the time. It's like I don't know. I've always kind of been like this, where I just skip breakfast. I sometimes have coffee, sometimes have water, and then I would be okay, and I'd like have breakfast and I'd have no lunch, and I'd wait till like really late to eat dinner, and then I ate too much, fast food or whatever. And now in the last few years, it's been a while now, probably, maybe 5-6 years already, I've totally skipped out on breakfast for the most part. It's like this, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go and do this. And now that we live out here, that we have to go into the main house for the kitchen and all the stuff, it's like even harder sometimes. Like, I don't really want to go in there. I don't really want to have to cook like that. I don't want to look around. I don't want to, it's just this, a lot of it has to do with anxiety, social anxiety, the whole thing. And yes, they are my in-laws, and we get along, and it's not like there's a problem there necessarily. It's more the anxiety and this like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to do this. And then I do the same thing for lunch because I've got to go in there to make it, right? So what I'm feeling like that, especially when the days of high anxiety, the days of the depression, the days where like my anxiety is turning into panic attacks and all this stuff, and I just don't want to move. I don't want to get in there. What I'm trying to learn is to have snacks here in the cabin with me that I can feel good about. So I shared some of that before with you guys, having some of the little squeezable baby foods. I have, now these aren't the greatest, like the tuna and the canned stuff. They do have a lot of stuff in them. So I'm looking to see what the bags have. A lot of times just getting the plain one is probably better than the ones that come with the crackers and everything, or the flavors. And one thing I did try years and years ago, that someone at work was doing, was having tuna. They were, instead of using mayo, they were doing some diet, I think, is using mustard, and I love mustard. I'm not a big fan of mayo. The only time I ever eat mayo is in tuna salad, I guess, and maybe if there's a chicken salad sandwich or something, I think that's what they use. But mayo, it's just not the greatest for me. Because I can't have it. I'm not supposed to really eat eggs because they make me sick. I don't know if it's an allergy or just like a food sensitivity thing. That's the same thing with milk and most dairy, and like tomatoes, and there's a lot of things. But just kind of knowing that I need to have things I can have in here, so that I can have some apples in here, some, I don't know, a bag of trail mix of nuts, something that doesn't have a whole lot of excess of things. And there are places to find these things. Like even going to the farmer's market this past Saturday, I went and I got some sunflower sprouts, some beet greens, some spinach, and I could just put all that together in a little bowl and just bring it with me, because it's not something that, it's not going to take me long to eat. I just need to make it a point, get that, bring it in here, eat it. I can have some fruit that can be out. I can have avocados in here. I need to remind myself there are some things that you can have that you don't have to go cook. You don't have to go deal with the anxiety that's happening at the moment if you really can't. Because I know I have to give myself grace in that respect. So I need to learn. And so if there's any ideas that you have that are foods that you don't need refrigeration, that cat hair flying around, let me know in the comments below. The next thing that she says, are you loving yourself when you say ugly words to you in your mind or sometimes out loud? That is a big one, right? So most people, we have the tendency to say all the wrong things. So even when somebody gives you a compliment, oh, I like the outfit you have or whatever, it's the same. Well, thank you. Oh, it's just cheap. I just got it from Walmart, or it's a hand-me-down, or I got it, it's we can't just be thankful for the compliment. We have to downplay everything and bring some negativity into it, because we don't know how to deal with that. We don't know how to love ourselves enough to just say thank you and accept it for what it is. So this is the last paragraph that I'm going to read. Everything we do can be an act of love or an act of hate. It is up to you to choose the path. Love your body by taking care of you, and you will find that you will find that by your actions, you are finally loving yourself. Love your body, love yourself. So here's a body clutter mission. This is in your journal. Just write, be honest with yourself, and don't allow perfectionism to stop you from eliminating the body clutter. So the questions for this one are, what are the priorities in your life? Are you a yes person? Have you had any wake-up calls in your life? What were they, and how have you reacted to them? So in the chapter, she did talk about having wake-up calls where she thought she was having a heart attack, and it turned out she had a really bad bacterial infection, but she had family that had heart issues. So the fact that she knew this, I talked about earlier, we know sometimes our family history, and we still do things that could cause those things to happen to us. Her wake-up call ended her up in the ER a couple times. And I've had those same things where I was getting really dizzy and really sick and whatever. And I went there, and some of the times it was nothing. My blood pressure was too high. And the whole, try to reduce your stress and, all this stuff. And I still didn't pay attention. The last time that I ended up in the ER for something like that was probably it had to be early 2020, right before all the pandemic stuff. We had just moved out here, and during that whole time we had been cleaning. It took us a long time to get everything cleaned out and moved, and we were back and forth. At the time we didn't have a car, so we were taking the bus, and we had to take the bus from here. We had to be down there at 5 a.m. So we had to be up by 4, get ready, go. And this, we were doing it, I mean, almost every day for a while, because it was during the week that we had the bus runs. And so we were going back to town. And then by the time we got to come back, the bus didn't run again until 5:30, I believe, or 6. There's 2 buses in the evening. So it was a full day over there. And granted, my parents were there. So, you know, we had somewhere to eat and do all the stuff and clean out the place that we were living in. And it took us a long time because we didn't have a car and we didn't have money to use U-Hauls and stuff. Plus, it was just a lot of stuff that we had to go through. So in that time, I was starting to feel sick, and I was getting really bad dizzy spells and just not feeling well, but I just kept ignoring it like I do. And so come January, and I think I went to go visit my parents. And I think it was January that I really got sick. Like, I was just really bad, but I still ignored it. I think it was February when I finally went, that I finally went to the ER. And that's because it started again, and I was visiting my parents and I was getting those same dizzy spells and just feeling really sick. So I went to the ER. They did all these tests and my blood pressure was high, but they also did a brain scan. Like, I don't know if they did a CT scan, but they did an MRI. And at that time, I have some the right frontal lobe, I have some like white matter damage. So they don't know why, because nothing was happening to me at that very moment that would indicate what it was. So now, from what I understand and what they think it may have been, that I could have had a mini stroke at one time and didn't know it. If I had an extended period of time when my blood pressure was high, even when your sugars are high, I guess, it can do that to you. So, but even after that, I still didn't take care of things. I did better, I did take care of some things, but the one thing that I never take care of was reduction of stress. I don't know how to do that. I'm really struggling with that, and it's such a learned behavior that I have that it's like, to break that habit, it's taking a lot. So, it's one thing that I'm working on. And I think through this, the baby steps, just learning all of this stuff is going to help me in that area as well. Because when I start eating better, I know I feel better. So I know when I eat bad food for me, I feel sick. And lately I've been doing this, because it's just easier to eat what's there, right? So I've been having tortillas and, basically gluten stuff. And I think that's really starting to affect me. It didn't affect me this bad before, but it's doing it now. And so I know this, and I don't know if I need to eliminate it completely from my diet or just not have it in, every day or every other day or whatever. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure all that out. And so that may be another video where I talk about some of the elimination diets that are out there that I've been looking into to see what I can do to kind of get this under control. So that is the end of chapter 9. Chapter 10. And then chapter 11 is called Your Bathroom, the Scale, and the Plumbing. So I will be back with that one soon. And that one's a shorter, seems like a shorter chapter. So we're getting really close to the end of this book. We have just a few more chapters left. So I hope that you've enjoyed going through this book with me, have learned something valuable, or have been encouraged by something. And I hope that you have a great evening, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. Bye-bye.